Hi everyone, hope you're well. You're with Dr. RK Powar and Rose is my nickname. Nice to be with you again. Happy New Year. I know it's a little bit late, but I was really stuck with a cold, so I had to take some time out. So Happy New Year. I hope you're all well. I think by now you've all set goals, plans, targets, new habits you're going to carry out, and we're into the middle of January, and I'm sure some of you are now thinking already, do you know what, I'm not going to carry on with this goal, or I'm not going to carry on with this habit, because doing those kind of things is really hard. And that's what I'm going to be talking about to you today, is how we can do things that we set to do. And the biggest way I can demonstrate that to you is in my capacity, because I was able to do those things, how I was able to retire in my 40s. So I'm going to just now give you a step-by-step kind of a chat on how I did that. So if we're ready, let's go. So step number one, if you wish to retire young, firstly, you have to mentally identify that. You need to have that as a vision. Whether you call it a vision, a purpose, aim, objective, all those things have different meanings when we go into them quite deeply, but they're also interrelated because different people use words to mean different things. But what I'm going to say is step number one, you need to identify what you wish to achieve and by when. So that's step number one. I did that. I think it was about 24, 25, I identified that I wanted absolute freedom. I didn't want to be accountable to anybody, and especially financial freedom. So that's step number one. Now, step number two. Step number two is when you've identified those things, you've got to make them happen. And one of the ways you need to do that is to make sure you don't have all your eggs in one basket. You drop that basket, all the eggs are going to break, and you're going to be not a very happy person. So to put metaphorically, step number two is to have all your eggs in different baskets. Financial, because that's what we're talking about, the ability to retire young. So you could have a couple of jobs, you could have a few specific business projects going on, and in my case, that one of the business projects I had on was to get involved in property. So that's how I made sure that, 10, 15 years on, I was going to be totally free, which I am. So that's step number two. So step number three. Step number three, that's now where you've got to walk the walk. So far, what we've done in step number one and two is we've been talking about what we wanted to do, or in my case, what I wanted to do. Now the hard bit began, and that is to put the action behind the words. So to do that, I think the biggest secret I'm going to give you is I had to self-manage myself. So that's step number three. Self-manage myself to every single point where I was going to fit in everything I needed to do. I needed to go to work, and on some occasions I was doing three jobs to look after my two beautiful kids because I was a single working mother. Also, I'd embarked on another journey which is separate to what we're talking about here, but I was wanting to self-develop myself. So I was studying academically as a mature student. So there was a lot on my plate, and I had to really look at how I was going to manage each and every part of mine to achieve all these targets that I'd set myself. So that's step number three, to manage yourself very well. Step number four, I was a taskmaster. So I was hard on myself. I had specific dates that I was going to achieve certain little segments to get to the bigger goal, the bigger than aim that I had. So I was monitoring that regularly. I was making sure I was steps ahead rather than being steps behind, because that's when you get demotivated, because you think, oh dear, I'm not doing well at this, and oh, I'll start again tomorrow. Procrastination starts. So be ahead of the game, be ahead of your own targets, be a hard task master. Now, step number 5, this is where things started getting better. So when I achieved my first property, I thought, now I've done it once, I can repeat it again. And it was then a process of repeating everything again and again and again until I was able to set out what I did right at the beginning, and that was to have this freedom, this financial freedom, not to be accountable to anyone at all apart from myself. Now, all I've done in this short video is to cover it. It's always easier to talk about things, but believe you me, there was a lot of hard work behind achieving everything that I'd set out to do. But it is all doable. It's doable. The rewards are magnificent, and in my case they are, because like I say, I'm totally free now. So the rewards are magnificent when you set yourself a target, and if you achieve that, it's the biggest happy moment, or one of the happiest moments you can have. So if you wish to retire young, it's doable. If you need to know in detail how to do that, how I really got into the nitty-gritty of it all, please drop me a message. I'm more than happy to help. I also run consultations on this area, so feel free to contact me. And last but not least, if you like the video, please do subscribe to the channel, do hit the like button, share it amongst all your friends, and I'll be back. And until then, take care and look after yourself. Be safe. Bye bye now.